Hey, welcome friends and family. Super excited to be here with you again today. First week in July, about to celebrate July 4th. It's exciting times right here from our Elevate studio, Cookeville. We're so excited to be sharing with you today. And what we're going to do is we're going to continue on our Top Producer series. What does it take to be a top producer, a professional top producer in real estate sales? And not just real estate sales, but in all of life. In all of life, whether you're HVAC, heating, cooling, or plumbing, or construction, or a mom or a dad. What does it take? I see some of these patterns repeat in people that are elevating their game, that are going to the next level, that are not settling for average or just get by. One of the ones I want to talk about today is their why. I want to talk to you about your why. Do you have a big why? I want to talk to you today about a why and how a why will pull you through some dark times, some tough times, and will get you to that next level. So I'm going to have some stories I'm going to try to use to connect with it. And then I want you to really think about it as we go through this. What's your why? I believe whys can change in life. August the 8th, 1998. I was 22 years old. I just turned 22. God supernaturally touched my life. I was born again. John Semino, a good friend of mine, had started coming back and talking to us about the Lord. Before that, I tell people we drank our first beer together. Years later, we said our first real prayer together. And for the first time in my life, I felt valuable. I felt loved. I felt like there's some value in me. And man, I believed with all my heart that Jesus died on a cross to take away my sin. And in return, I wanted to surrender my life fully to Him, and I wanted to be used. I wanted to give back to the God who gave His Son for me. So, did some crazy things like, who would have ever thought an old boy from Doyle, Tennessee would end up in India or Mexico or living in South Carolina or living in Franklin, Tennessee. This wasn't what I seen as my future, but why did I end up in all these places? One reason. Because God first loved me. He gave so much for me. He seen value in me that I didn't see in myself, that apparently my mother didn't see in me. And maybe I didn't feel like my dad seen it in me. So why I did what I did was because of that. And why I went all over the world, really, was because of that. That was my why. I got into ministry, I did bus ministry, I youth pastored a couple churches, and that was kind of my main focus until I met my amazing wife, Lindsay Castelli, who moved here from way over that pond, about 3,000 miles over the pond. She flew from Britain to Tennessee. And once we got married, I began to realize that my why really didn't change. I was still very driven and very focused in the ministry. Jail ministry, bus ministry, youth ministry, developing and growing a team. We started with 8, we took it to 80, and did that in a short time. But once I had my first, and I knew, with Lindsay, I knew Lindsay could take care of Lindsay. She didn't need somebody to take care of her. She was an addition to my life. Hopefully I was an addition to hers. So my why really didn't change until I had my first son, Noah. About right around a year after we were married, we had our first child, Noah Lee Castelli. What a little champion, man. Love that. Love my son. Shortly after that, I had my daughter, Emmy Lee Castelli. Oh, my goodness. If you're a man, you have that little girl, all of a sudden, somebody else is holding your heart. You love her so much. And so with that, my why started to change a little bit. I still loved the Lord, still wanted to, do all I could to advance the kingdom. But now I seen God was giving me a different way to do it, and it was through real estate. My wife and I, we've said that our vision is to use real estate as a platform to encourage, influence, and inspire each other as teammates to be our very best so that we leave a legacy as a community, an Elevate community that genuinely cares and delivers phenomenal 5-star results. So my why was to take care of Noah and Emmy. And so that meant I had to start a career. So I got really focused in on how do I grow and develop a real estate career. And so with that, I began to get coached, mentors, began to get around people that had done more than I had. And my why, man, did it pull me through some rough days. I mean, real estate ain't easy. It's tough. And there's a lot of hard things that come along. I've had some of my greatest joys serving people in real estate and building a team. and I've also had some of my hardest times. You know, one thing that Lindsay and I realized in that process of becoming a top producer was that she and I were both working 50, 60-hour weeks. And this was regular. And now we had little kids growing up in our home. So our why went from being solo top producers to like, you know, there's got to be a better way to do this and be able to invest time into our children. So that's when we began to hang around a great mentor, good friend, great professional top producer, Bernie Gallerini, out in Hendersonville. And we got around him and Raymond and some of his amazing wife, and we started to learn and grow how to build a team. And so we started to put that process in. And why did we do that? So that we could invest, so that we could still be great at our career, still be top producers, still deliver phenomenal 5-star service to those we serve, but also so that we didn't just run off and leave our kids. I mean, they were growing up in our house, but we were running so hard, it was hard to do both well without investing in a team. So our why went to, man, we need to be able to, now that we've had children, we need to be able to really pour into and invest in these children. I love my children. I love the Lord that blessed me to have an amazing wife and give us these great children and this great career and be able to serve people and wake up every day and do what I love with the people I love. And I told my son the other day, he's like, no, I don't want you to take that and misunderstand it. Because I do what I love doesn't mean I don't work a day in my life. Because, man, there's some days I come home tired, exhausted. And I'm going to tell you what, if I didn't love what I do and I didn't love the people I did it with, if my why wasn't as big as it is, then I would give up, I would quit. I'd be satisfied. But my why gets bigger. Not only now do I want to grow myself as a top producer, I want to grow others. You know, John Maxwell says, success is when the people around you speak highly of you. And success, we can obtain a certain level of success in our business, in our lives. But he says, another thing, he says, once you get a taste of significance, success will never do. And significance is when you help others start their journey and in their careers. And so that's what it's about, folks. It's not, your why's got to, and my why's changed from seasons to seasons. I'll never forget when I met Lindsay. And at that time, I really wasn't knowing if we were thinking marriage. I was just thinking friend, and I think she was thinking that. But I'll never forget, I shared with her a little bit about my childhood story growing up, and she says, you know, Elijah, a mother, when you come home, if you've had a bad day, she should be able to sense it, say, hey, come over here, sit down, talk to me about your day. I never had that growing up. And I knew immediately that is what a mother should be. And it was like she'd be a great mother. That's my why for marrying Lindsay. Yes, she's beautiful, super intelligent, passionate, most driven woman I've ever met. At the end of the day, my why for marrying Lindsay was because I knew she would make an amazing mother. And I wanted my children to have what I didn't think I got. And so that was my why for being married. Your why will get you through some pretty tough days. And again, make sure your ladder's leaning on the right thing, not the wrong thing. And how do you do that? By praying and asking God. So folks, my question to you today is, and maybe a challenge, what's your why? Why do you do what you do? What drives you internally, inward? And what why would bring out the best in you? Get thinking about that. Be serious about that. Write that down and really pray about it. Because again, if you lean that why on the wrong thing, then that could be destructive and devastating. So know your why. How do you find it? Pray about it. Seek the Lord. Ask your friends, family, people that really care about you, and that will help you get laser focused in, get driven, and become that top producer that I believe God's calling us all to be. I don't think He wants us to be average. I don't think He wants us to be in survival mode. I think there's seasons for that. I think we've got to be average before we're good, and we've got to be good before we're great. But it's never too late to start. If you don't know your why, I think it's just a matter of digging down deep, asking some questions, and bringing that to surface. And once you know what that is, now you got something to pull you on those tough days. Appreciate you very much. Hope you have a great day. Thank you.